All right, you guys, we're going to get right into the topic today, and that's Brett Kavanaugh. And I'm going to start off talking about why I do not have an issue with Brett Kavanaugh. I don't have an issue that Brett Kavanaugh is conservative. I don't have an issue that Brett Kavanaugh is nominated by Donald Trump. I don't have an issue on his issues on abortion, female reproductive issues. I don't really have an issue on that at all because Brett Kavanaugh is a conservative, Donald Trump's a conservative, so I mean it would make sense that Donald Trump would pick a conservative justice. And mind you, Kennedy, who stepped down, he recommended Kavanaugh to replace him, and Kennedy is considered to be a swing vote. So more than likely, Kavanaugh would probably just be a swing vote on the court. You know, Justice Kennedy would not recommend Kavanaugh if he felt like Kavanaugh would be a completely full conservative vote on the court. So that's why I don't have an issue with Brett Kavanaugh. I don't really particularly too much care that he was drinking. I don't really particularly care that he partied. I don't really particularly care that he, you know, did some things with women that some people would say are not flattering. I don't really care about that at all. I don't care about all this whole sexual abuse issues that are going on with him. That doesn't really concern me at all. The reason that I don't like Brett Kavanaugh is because of the simple fact that he represents too much of a white supremacist, in my opinion. He's shown too much of the white supremacist playing cards, in my opinion, for me to fully feel comfortable with him. I know he's a white supremacist. I understand that, but I think true white supremacists keep their white supremacy at it. They keep it veiled. They keep it so that it's not that visible. You know, white supremacy is built on the people who are not the smartest, the people who do not work the hardest, the people who are not necessarily the brightest, rising to the top. You know, white supremacists, they make sure they always have a position for people who are going to tote the white supremacist line. Doesn't matter how smart they are. That's why most of our supervisors have always been dumber than us. Most of our managers have always been, you know, terrible at their job. Most companies fail because the top is full of white supremacists that don't know what they're doing. Those companies include the automakers, Chevy, Chrysler, Dodge. They also include the big banks. All these companies that had to be bailed out, these are companies that were failures. These are failure companies that have white supremacists at the top. So they have white supremacists at the top who did not know what they're doing, and their company failed. But since they were white supremacists, the government came and bailed them out. And so Brett Kavanaugh, he represents that too much. He represents the fact that his life was destined for greatness from the time he fell out of his mother's pussy, and that he really didn't even have to try that hard to get to where he needed to get to, and that he really didn't even have to. He really doesn't have to try that hard to even get on the Supreme Court. You know, I mean, he parties, you know, all throughout high school, parties, all throughout college. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with partying. I'm saying that is a part of your character. Let's just be honest. If you like to party at one age, more likely at a different age you'll still like to party. So Brett Kavanaugh enjoyed partying from the time he was 16 to the time he was 22, 23. I promise you today, Brett Kavanaugh still likes to do that same type of similar partying. And so, like I said, I don't really have an issue about the fact that he was partying. I have an issue about the fact that he's showing his white supremacy cards a little bit too much. That's my issue, and the fact that that he's kind of giving us he's giving us a little bit too much into the inner workings of white supremacy. You know, white supremacy is a group that protects themselves. That's what they do, and so that's why you have all these people coming to protect Brett Kavanaugh, because all these people got to where they're at, not by their smartness, not by their intelligence, not by their hard work, not by their determination, but because of the color of their skin, the neighborhood they were born in, and the family they were born into. Simple as that. Most of our U.S. senators are part of that same group. Most of our, you know, most of the white supremacists are part of that group, that family line, that marriage line, that group of people. And so, Brett Kavanaugh and everybody that he hung out with who went to these schools, they all knew that they could just party. That they could party, they can get drunk, they could rape people, they can fuck each other, fuck everyone. They all knew that. And they knew that that prestigious law firm job was waiting for them, because their uncle is the one who works at the law firm. They know that law clerkship job for a certain federal job for a certain federal judge is there for them, because their uncle is the judge. And so whenever things are set up like that, it's very easy for the very bottom to rise to the top. It's very easy for the dumbest people to somehow make it all the way to the top. And I'm not saying that, that a lot of these executives who run these companies are dumb. I think they're very smart. It takes a lot of intelligence to run these companies. What I'm saying is, I don't think they're the smartest. I think there are many people who are Americans who are much smarter for those roles, that can do a much better job, and they won't need the government to bail them out every 15, 20 years, like all these financial companies did, like all these automaker companies did, and like a lot of these other companies have to do. Whenever all these companies have to bankrupt, start over, including President Trump's companies, that shows that there's a lot of inherent issues with that. Speaking of President Trump represents Brett Kavanaugh specifically. President Trump went to one of the most prestigious schools in the world, Wharton School of Business. That has to be at least one of the top 5 business schools in the world. Donald Trump didn't need to go to Wharton. He knew from the time he fell out of his mom's pussy that CEO of a real estate career was waiting for him. Just like Eric Trump knows that, just like Barron Trump knows that, just like Donald Trump Jr. knows that. Whenever you have all these generations of people who have so much waiting for them, and they have to do so little, that's how you get a lot of these inadequate people at the top. That's how you get a lot of these failed companies. That's how you get a lot of these stupid ass people running the Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign, who told her every single day that, oh, you don't have to go to this state, you don't have to go to Michigan, you don't have to, you have all these people who have made it to the top, but not on merit. They made it to the top based on family. They made it to the top based on connections. They made it to the top based on other issues. And so, if that's the case, you've got to be able to hide that. You've got to be able to hide that and say, I worked hard and I made it, and I'm a self-made billionaire. You got to lie like Kylie Jenner. You got to hop on top of Forbes magazine and lie to the entire world saying that you're a self-made billionaire. That's what a white supremacist does. They don't show their cards. Lindsey Graham was probably sucking plenty dick all throughout high school, all throughout college, but nothing like that has came out. Nothing like that has came out because he's kept his white supremacist cards hidden. I'm pretty sure Lindsey Graham has molested plenty congressional pages in his day. Young male pages specifically. I'm pretty sure Lindsey Graham has molested plenty of them. But his white supremacy cards are hidden. And so that's kind of my issues that I have with Brett Kavanaugh. It's not the simple fact that a rapist, or the fact that he's a conservative, or that he's anti-abortion. That stuff doesn't really concern me. It's just a simple fact that he did a bad job at being a white supremacist.